Your team ended, I believe I'm checking here, 1-13.
That is it's accurate.
So, out of the 8 teams in Helios, who do you think you guys could beat? SKL, I mean. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Friend of Foe Lounge. My name is Chris Sunga. I'm stepping in for Sharagan, who's away in Europe for a wedding. So not his wedding, but like his brother's wedding. So, hopefully I can do as good a job as he does. Normally we have players as guests on the lounge, but today we've got the 3 people that run Friend or Foe Season 4, basically. They make the tournament happen. These are the people that talk to all the players. These are the people that are like the layer between me and the players. So like, here are the players, here's me, and then there's them, and they handle all of them and just like report stuff to me. So, these are the heroes here. So I've got Theracles, I have Rapterra, and I have Brendan / Fang over Fang. Thank you guys so much for joining me this evening. I know you guys are busy people. Okay, lads, let's recap this. Okay, so in the first round of playoffs, Ahntye 3-0's PTP. They move on to play Rex 3-0's them. Nice and easy 3-0. They make it to grand finals. Congratulations for Rex. RLS go all the way 5 games against CFG, 3-2. They get picked to play against the first seed, Terracotta. 3-0's them, and they make it to finals against Rex. Boys, thoughts on their run throughout playoffs?
I'm impressed how much they've changed since their first week.
Yeah.
Like their first week, taking it 5 games to CFG, who's had just multiple roster changes and had a lot of problems. Like I thought it was done. I thought RLS was just going to go out against TG, but a 3-0 TG like that. Granted, they do have TG had a new mid laner, and that might have had slight impact, but still, I expected it would be a lot closer than it was.
Facts.
I would definitely say that, RLS is still that team that I feared since the very first time I talked to them. They're all hilarious. They told me, yeah, we watched 5 of your solo queue games. They watch me and anyone that can watch me play solo queue, I respect them to this day.
Yeah.
And they are probably one of the most hardworking teams, one of the teams that are just the most hungry to improve, really.
Facts.
Yeah. I think those are fair assessments. I also think this is an egregious question that you just asked us to cover like 12 matches in 30 seconds, but forgive you. But yeah, pretty much spark notes. I would agree. RLS had a very surprising run, with the 5 games into the 3. Definitely thought the one against TG would have been a little closer. Definitely sounds like there was some mental things to work out, and with the difference of a best of series over just a 1 game is vastly different. I think players don't really put into account, especially on the screen when you add that extra layer. But also to that counterpoint, with it being a new mid laner, I think that I honestly can't remember the summer name off the top of my head, but I think they played very well. Particularly their Corki. I feel like a lot of the plays that did come from them were around that player. So,
Facts. Yeah, I think RLS has like the biggest Cinderella story, right? Because they came from Mythic last season. Like their storyline extends from last season, so they've got big main character energy right now, and I'm pretty sure they're the favorites to win. I'm pretty sure Rex is gonna win, but I think they're like the fan favorite to win.
Wow, I just spoiled like the predictions like in the first 5 minutes, dude.
My bad. That's what I think, at least. But yeah, if you haven't seen those games, for those watching, please go do so. RLS had to climb to get here. Rex had a nice 3-0 strong sweep. So good luck to these guys. Okay, let's talk about each of these players. All 10 of these players, one-on-one against each other in their roles. Let's talk about the supports first. I believe that's Doctor versus RLS. I was almost going to say Escape. RLS Demon Girl. Thoughts on that matchup? I know, Brendan, you probably watch the most bot laners. I think you probably pay the most attention to bot laners. I think every time I hear you in the green room, you're always talking about bot lane. So, Brendan, thoughts on the sports?
I'm definitely biased just because I am a bot laner myself. So I definitely are the most critical of bot laners, and I apologize in advance.
No way.
But I think both these supports have actually really impressed me, especially Demon Girl, who I thought was actually going to be towards the bottom. Like the very first game I've watched her, I thought she was gonna be like one of the worst, but man, she's improved like steadily and has climbed up in like the ranks of being one of the best supports really in the entirety of Helios and Luna. And why Doctors, his mechanics are some of the best on Rex. Of course, Rex is pretty insecure about their mechanics because they think that their macro is just everyone talks about their macro and all these kind of things, but if I had to say who's one of the best mechanical players on Rex, it would definitely be why Doctors. Thresh in particular was pretty impressive.
Yeah, anyone else? Give me your thoughts, lads.
I think they've looked good. Fang kind of got everything that I was going to say, so okay. I think their bot lanes in general, I think it'll be a fun matchup to watch.
I'm just carrying TOs as I always am. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, carrying you guys right
Listen,
now.
hold on. I was letting other people talk first.
Okay,
Let me give it to you. Okay. But I mean, of course, we should probably preface this with, of course, now we have to analyze the players, and this isn't us trying to be biased. And I'm pretty sure this entire speech is going to get overshadowed by people clicking on the thumbnail to whichever port they like. So with that said, talking about why Doctors RLS Demon Girl, I actually think RLS Demon Girl is probably the best, if not the second best player on that team, which is kind of probably an interesting take, but I think she is a big part of their one, like engages, which they're very clean. Usually I think off the engage, and I think that starts with Demon Girl. And for two, a lot of the RLS objective control is based off their vision, and I think Demon Girl again is a big part of that. I would give it to that. And also RLS Escape really likes to talk about not dying, and I think that's because Demon Girl is biting the bullet every time. So I think there's the occasional slip, but I think a lot of the success is off the back of Demon Girl.
Okay, got it. So who's worse than Demon Girl on that team, Ryan?
Well, you want to get the entire players in the order that we're going for?
Yeah. Rank RLS's members for me.
No, that's all right. We'll do that.
Okay. We'll do heads to head. Okay.
Wow, this is cowardice.
Okay. Let's talk about the bot laners. Yeah, let's talk about the bot laners. Brendan, I'll go back to you since you are the resident bot laner here. Escape versus AlkBattery on the side of Rex.
Dude, my man Spencer. All right. I'm so biased when it comes to Escape, by the way.
Clarify. Okay, yeah, that's Escape. Yeah.
Dude, he just comes in the green room like throughout the season and he's like, hey man, we're kind of done better. And I'm always trolling, I'm joking around, and like halfway through it, he actually I realize he's being serious. We start giving him advice. And ever since then, man, this has nothing to do with my advice. Don't get me wrong. It was found in me. And ever since then, man, he's greatly improved, shut up all the leaderboards in the KDA. I think Escape is easily he does so many things that are like so hot. This is gonna sound so self-centered, but a lot of the times, I look at a lot of players and what they do that are better than me because I want to improve at League, obviously. And Escape does so many things that are just better than me, and I'm honestly jealous because he just started playing League like a year ago. I've been playing League for like 8 years.
Wait,
what? They started playing League 2 years ago? I think it was 2 or 3 years ago.
All right.
What? You don't believe that?
No, I believe you. I do. I'm just a little upset. Go on.
I know in Helios, in Mythic, I think they were only playing League for I think it was 6 months or 3 months, something around there.
Yeah, they were pretty new to it. I remember talking to them, and they're like, yeah, some of us we haven't even their rank games. I think one of them said it was the only rank, that was the first time they'd ever played rank games. So they were definitely very, very new to League of Legends. But oh god,
Christ.
It makes me, dude. It's like I love seeing them improve. It's like for me, again, I'm not that important to RLS, but it's like seeing my little brother, just overtake you. It feels great to see. Escapes. I told him that I think that one of the things that he does great is just his macro, especially I think Ryan touched on it a bit. Just his ability to not die and be a constant damage deal in the backline is just really incredible. I think it's actually understated how good it is. His positioning is really good in a lot of team fights. I think that sometimes if I had to give him a critique, which is what I told him, is that I think sometimes his macro has never really impressed me, but that's not to state that his macro is bad. His mechanics aren't bad. but he's just an all around. I think I just said that wrong, didn't I? I think that one of his issues is mechanics. Sorry.
Okay, got it.
I don't think that his mechanics are bad, but that is the one area I think that he needs to work on, and he has been working on that especially.
Mhm.
And AlkBattery, man, one of my favorite players in both leagues actually. Just because of his interviews, I think he has easily some of the best interviews in all of FoF history. There's no doubt about that. Like, it's guaranteed. And his confidence is really, I think, AlkBattery is like one of the backbones of Rex, in my opinion. Just the confidence that he has definitely, I think, spreads to the entirety of the team.
Mhm.
He thinks that he's the best AD carry. He's talked about that for multiple times. He thinks that I'm dog. He talks about everyone's dog, and I love just talking about AlkBattery.
Yeah.
And I think his Helios is really good. I don't know why. I remember he picked Kalista this one time, and I thought that was pretty running it down. But pulling out a Kalista in FOF just shows confidence, since it's easily like the worst AD carry in the game at the moment. It's really, really bad. And I think I can't remember if they won that game. I believe they did.
I can't remember.
But yeah. These bot laners are definitely the matchup that I'm going to be watching just because of biases, but
Sure.
yeah, man.
I agree with you. So who do you think's better? Escape?
Who I think is better?
Or
Man,
AlkBattery?
I can't answer this because literally Escape puts fear in my heart just from watching 5 to 10 solo queue games randomly, and that really makes me scared. Because I'm a solo queue enter, by the way. Like, I don't know if people know this, but man, there's some games where I straight run it down and he sits through that, and that's literally torture. And I'm biased when it comes to him, especially.
Okay.
So I'm going to say him just because of bias.
Gotcha. Anyone else?
Just going off stats alone, like I think Escape is the stronger AD carry. He is fifth overall in between both leagues, Luna and Helios for KDA. He's the highest ranking Helios player by a pretty big margin, I would say, overall. He's the biggest one left in the playoffs. Like, he's got a pretty good lead on them. I think he'll do well. I think he will probably be the he's gonna be the point that RLS will try to play through the most. And I think that's just because usually when they're not playing through him, they're trying to play through Ahntye. And I don't know if Ahntye's gonna be able to get those same leads in this matchup, but we'll get to that when we get to Ahntye.
Yeah. Okay. Heracles.
All right, here we go. Next take. So this is kind of a conversation I actually used to have with my lady carry Zishan, and I think that both Escape and AlkBattery are top tier players, but in different respects. And that's that. I think Escape is very consistent, a very safe player. Doesn't really drop a lead ever, so he's always very good in that aspect. And then on the other side, I think AlkBattery is the playmaker. I think he's the one that will end up putting his team on his back, and fighting way back in the game. And I don't think that's the same result I'm going to get from Escape. Like, again, I don't think he'll ever get behind. I don't think he ever just straight loses to AlkBattery.
Mm-hmm.
But if top side loses, I don't see Escape being the one to pull him back in the game.
I would definitely agree with that. To touch on that a bit, I talked about the difference in AD carry philosophies. Because when it comes to playing AD carry, Escape is very much the opposite of how I like to play. He's very much the consistent damage dealer. He's not going to die much. And AlkBattery, as you said, is similar to how I want to play the game. Wow, I'm such egoing right now. Holy crap! But
It's fun.
yeah, I definitely think I'm very much a coin flip, and sometimes AlkBattery can be the same way. While Escape has always been that AD carry that's very consistent, and being consistent sometimes is an issue just because you can't carry the team by yourself.
Yeah, agree. Okay. Well, that's AlkBattery versus Escape. Let's talk mid. Heracles, I'm gonna start with you. Our SKL mid laner. Yeah.
I don't know why.
This is PenguSol versus Zenzen. PenguSol versus Zenzen. Thoughts on these mid laners going into this?
Okay, despite being the mid laner here, not a very. I think you're a better mid laner and have more experience for sure. But anyway, I feel like we haven't really seen a lot of camera time on Zenzen usually. If it is, it's very short times, like the Zoe's, like
like the little
and like the battle star, like booms. Those are always dope. So it's hard to say. So I think Zenzen has these windows, and I also don't ever remember him like losing super hard either. I think he's one of the players that flamed for not getting to play Aurelion Sol though. So that's a note.
Got it.
On the other side, I think Pengu is very, very calm, very, very calculated. Seems like, especially the Orianna picks, very, very slow pace with the ball movements and chunking you down, and then all of a sudden flipping a switch. And I think they've gotten quite a bit of solo kills through this season just for that type of play alone. I don't know who I'd give the edge to, but I don't know.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I had to cut in.
You're good.
What I would definitely say about Zenzen is, dude, man, he's one of the... What I love about FoF is like being a lot of people, and man, Zenzen is easily one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life, and I will absolutely hope the best for him in every aspect of his life, man. He just seems like... I don't know if he's a father yet, but man, he's going to be a great dad. He just... The presence that he, I want him to adopt me for sure. I don't know if he's older than me, but like the presence that he has, I feel like he can just take me outside and play catch with me,
What? For sure.
I never had to throw catch with my dad, dude. So, he can just take me outside and be like, come here, son. And then we just throw the baseball around and he talks to me about their failing marriage or...
Yeah. Oh my God.
Can we edit in like Dr. Phil here or something? Like just in the corner?
Oh God.
That's usually how it works. I'm sorry. I skipped on me and Sienna's therapy session.
Going.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's probably why I have been. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Her working on her planes, she's just flying high and I'm down here, dude.
Yeah.
But wow, that's such a weird tangent.
Okay.
All right. So Zenzen's Zoe is actually I think it's actually really good, especially his mechanics. That champion in particular has been really impressive, especially like getting a bunch of clips for the videos that Ryan made me do. Watching Zenzen Zoe is actually incredible. I want to see if he's allowed to get it. And PenguSol, I have a lot to say about PenguSol and Warleader on RLS, because I think that they are like the most disrespected really players in the entire league, honestly. Like I feel like everyone always like, I know the Catboys in particular put Warleader at 6. I mean, I'm going to touch on that more later on, but PenguSol like is similar to Escape. I think his ability to deal out damage and not die is pretty impressive. One of the issues with him is that he doesn't really take over games. Like I have never been like, oh, there goes PenguSol snapping out. Like, but his Orianna in particular really has impressed me, especially in that TG series and really in the playoffs, man. Like PenguSol's Orianna, if I had to like say who is the MVP of RLS's run right now, it actually is PenguSol, just because his Orianna has been so disgusting. Like if you guys watch the replays and these kind of things, he has 3-man, 4-man shockwaves almost every single team fight.
Facts.
Yeah, I'm surprised people keep giving him the Ori. Like it is his best champion. Like he destroys on it. Even looking at his stats, like just the Ori games alone are like they're incredible. And my one concern though is if the Ori is banned, he does have some other things, but I don't think they're nearly as strong as his Ori. They seem to definitely be a step down in most cases. His Akshan looks okay, but the rest of them, like they can be a little hit or miss, and I'm worried if he gets banned out on Ori and maybe they ban Akshan too, like what is he going to bring out for his team? What is he going to be able to do? How is he going to get that lead on Zenzen there? Because Zenzen has a massive champion pool. He's played so many different champions, and he's played a lot that most players haven't even played. I mean, he's brought out Yone, he's brought out Kled in the mid lane. So yeah, I'm just a little worried for Pengu, but it just depends on how the draft goes. I mean, he's gotten Ori this many times so far in the playoffs, and maybe he'll just keep getting it.
Okay. Yeah, I think me personally, I would say Zenzen's the better mid laner. I think he can offer more to Rex. I think PenguSol has a lot of highlight moments with like the Orioles and team fights and stuff, but I think there's a question on champion pool. Like if Ori is banned, like what else? And then is Pengu as good on those champions as he is on Orianna, I guess. But let's move on to the junglers, I guess, which Brandon, we'll just go to you first because you said you wanted to talk about Warleader. Warleader versus Raafaa, which I believe is playing in grand finals, as far as I know. Yes?
Last thing I heard, yeah.
That's the last thing I heard.
Yes, from my understanding, he should be playing.
Okay,
Yeah.
for the people at home, we're recording this on the 24th. So if anything happens in 4 days, sorry.
Another Ford Fusion incident.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Let's not wish for fusions on my players. You can do it for your players, but not mine, please.
Monkey Paw Curls, it's a Prius this time. Sneaks up on him.
Dude, if I got hit by a Prius, I'd be so upset with myself.
Yeah. I remember there being a time where like Yubi was playing and on the Twitch stream like a Honda commercial came up, I think, or a Ford commercial came up. And I was like, no way. That's great.
Even Twitch is in on the memes.
Yeah. Anyway, Brendan, yes, Warleader versus Raafaa.
Okay, so, man, I play with Warleader a lot. Not like a lot, but like I play with him in ARAM, and first off, as all RLS members are, they're freaking hilarious. But Warleader is similar to PenguSol when we talk about Orianna. Is like his Volibear is easily his best champion. And teams, I've been saying this forever now, and RLS has been saying this forever. Please ban Volibear. Like I'm so tired of seeing it with RLS. But Warleader is greatly man, has he greatly improved this playoffs? Like going from like 6th ranked jungler according to the Catboys, and to really, he's definitely been the most improved player in all of FoF's playoffs so far this year. And Ahntye is actually the most regressed player when it came to playoffs. That man was inting in TG, not even like memeing, but like he actually was inting. Kevin, you suck. Like seriously, like you're really bad.
Okay.
But yeah, Warleader. Nah, he probably will. If I listen, if you talk to Kevin and you just brush his ego a little bit, he'll be like, "Oh, really? I got talked about."
Okay. Yeah.
That's how I got him to start watching FoF. Is Theracles shouted him out, and on his Blitzcrank one time. Sorry. So Warleader, yeah, his Volibear is really good, and I just want to see more from him, especially because man, the improvement is always something that I love seeing in FoF. Period. It makes me actually, it brings a tear to my eye, man. You know, seeing players get better in FoF is seriously one of the best parts about this entire tournament, this organization. And has he greatly improved? I want to see him get more mastery on champions besides Volibear. And Raafaa, this man Raafaa he's probably, maybe him or AlkBattery is probably the most aggressive player on Rex. If I had to say who is the playmaker, it is Raafaa. And sometimes that playstyle clashes with the rest of Rex, especially Joushi and how Joushi sees the game. Is that Rex wants to usually play back and play their macro through, that is their strength of their team. But Raafaa is, don't get me wrong, his macro is not bad, but I think he does want to force issues and go into invade jungle.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's an issue when you don't have prio and you have a lot of lanes freezing. So I think Raafaa at times has looked a lot worse than he actually is, just because of the clashes on philosophy when it comes to the game.
Yep, probably agree with that.
And they play Lilia a lot, by the way, which I talked to Joushi slightly about, and they think that Lilia is really good. I think it's really bad at the moment. I think it's good in some competitive sense if you're in a 5-man, but I think he just really, I just don't like the pick. I think it's really inconsistent. But Lilia, she just doesn't do enough damage, and she's so not tanky at the moment. She'll get blown up. But Raafaa, he has not played League in I think it's a week or two now. The man's on vacation in the middle of playoffs, by the way.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, he's a busy man, but so I wonder if he will be better when he comes back. Because for me in particular, and I think a lot of other players have talked about this, is once you stop playing League for a week or two and you come back, you actually play a lot better.
Oh,
so
sure.
I want to see if that's what happens with Raafaa in this case.
I digress on that. Having taken a week break to move and come back, I'm feeding my ass off. So I don't know about that one, but yeah, I think I'm excited to see this matchup. Both of these players have shown a lot of flexibility in their draft. I have seen both of them bring out a lot of different champions, and there's too many for me to count at the moment, but like I think they're not going to be targeted in drafts. So I want to see, with all that freedom of what they can pick, what they're going to choose for their teams. Obviously, we're expecting the Volibear ban for Warleader, but where does he go to next? What's his next? What's the next option there? What's he going to play? Is he going to go on to just his next best champion? Or is he going to play something that's a little bit more like reactive for his team comp? Is he going to play more for the comp or more for this like the early game? I'm interested to see that. I'm interested how Raafaa does. Like he said, back on vacation, or from vacation. I think that will be interesting to watch. But yeah, I think this will be a lot of this series. Well, they won't be the players that carry the games. I think these will be the players that decide the games early on.
Yeah. I think that last part was the key thing. I think they're both very early impact junglers, and I think that's fantastic. But I think overall, they're not very consistent junglers, which is I think the justification for the Catboys rankings on some of them. So yeah. I think I wasn't a player in Helios, obvious, so I didn't, but I probably would not have voted either of these players very high in MVP voting for jungle.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but I think they've definitely had games where they've proven they can. I think we've talked about it a little bit too. I think Warleader has improved a lot in the start of playoffs, especially. His games against TG, I think, were very impactful. Probably the best we've seen Warleader. And then I think Raafaa kind of towards the middle of the season had some slump, maybe some mental things to get over. Playing this format can definitely have that kind of toll on you. But I think his last 2 weeks were pretty phenomenal. I really liked his more aggressive approach when he started picking up the Trundle, and then most specifically his Olaf game was phenomenal. I think especially when you pick it up with the Yuumi, that was just kind of gross to watch, but also super entertaining at the same time. So overall, I think we haven't seen the best of these players. And I think I'm really hoping to see that, come grand finals. And I think it's going to be a very big draft to see if they're going to get the tools to make that happen. I think my other note is I think I'm giving the edge slightly over to Raafaa in the situation, but I don't think it's just straight his skill. I think Utility Monster touched on it in one of his interviews before, where we talked about him versus Dax, and he said, maybe some people would consider that, but I think it's because of the tools I have at my disposal. So I feel like if we flipped Warleader and Raafaa, to be on different teams, I think Warleader might have the advantage in that same scenario. So that's what mine's going out.
The problem with Raafaa is just there's times where I have no idea why he's at a certain position. In particular, I remember he invaded with 0 prio and instantly got one shot by Ariri. There's just times where he does great. Raafaa sometimes just does great. It's Echo, where he ease over on a wall on the bot lane and then drags Camille back with his ulti, was really impressive. And then there's times where he just straight ints for no reason. So his inconsistency is kind of the issue I have with Raafaa.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, me personally, I'm just gonna get this out of the way before we talk about the top laners. So I have reason to root for both of these junglers, and I'll tell you these exact reasons. So one, Warleader specifically, I don't know if you guys remember this, but Warleader was on our public Discord back in season 3, and he posted a thing that was just I'm looking for a team, I'm looking for a chance to play. But we were kind of we were already in the middle of the season, so he couldn't really join a team or anything like that. Finally plays on RLS and makes it all the way to grand final. So I just think that's a nice little origin story. So that's why I'm really rooting for him. I'm really rooting for Raafaa because he just followed me on Twitter this morning. So let's go, Raafaa.
Let's go, Raafaa.
Let's go, Raafaa. Okay, let's talk about these last two players. I think the big matchup of top lane for this entire season, Mr. Joushi versus Mr. Ahntye. Now, we know Ahntye very well. He works a lot with us behind the scenes. I know Joushi a little bit more. He's we talked back and forth. I know Raafaa, you know him very well. Last time I talked about Joushi, he made a montage video, so I'm gonna let you guys carry this one. So
Joushi and shit.
Oh my god.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right.
He's the best, but he ain't shit.
God.
King shit, beach.
Yeah.
I actually think it depends. I think it depends on the champion. If you give Ahntye set, he's probably going to win it. If you do not give him set, I think it's more up for debate. I have a lot of. I know they played very different styles. So Ahntye plays more carry top laners. You see a lot. He plays a lot of Gwen, plays a lot of Aurelia, plays a lot of. I guess set is a carry jungler, carry top laner in my opinion. But that's more of his style. Whereas you look at Joushi, he's playing a lot of tanks. He plays Ornn, he plays Tahm Kench, he plays Gnar, he plays Shen, and Sion. That's basically been most of his pool, outside of a game each on Jace, Syndra, and Gwen. So he is mostly playing tanks. He plays for his team a lot more, I think, with his style. And I, as someone who like that's my style of play, I respect that a lot, and I think that's the better style. But that's my personal opinion. So I think, to me, I think Joushi is the better top laner. He might not be the better micro top laner. I think Ahntye's micro is better, but I think he has better macro sense.
Gotcha.
That I agree with, especially. I think Joushi ain't shit, but he is definitely better than Ahntye. He's probably the best top laner in Rex, so maybe he is shit, but he man. Here's the issue with this matchup is that RLS's playmaker is probably Ahntye or Demon Girl really, and Rex's playmaker is probably Joushi or Raafaa. AlkBattery sometimes, but you can't really do much plays when you're the AD carry. So I just think Joshi's ability to be consistent and just know everything about the game, like this man's really understanding of the game is absolutely incredible, and against a player that is, again, not playing League for that long, I think is really going to be a huge asset when it comes to that lane. And I think that we've seen this multiple times, I think really in a lot of games where if Ahntye does not get far ahead, then RLS tends to struggle. And I don't think he's going to get far ahead against Joushi.
Disagree.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I need this.
Fuck, spill.
I feel like the biggest argument to that was TG versus RLS game 1. I feel like Ahntye was not doing well. I feel like RLS overall was not doing well. And then all of a sudden they started turning it. It wasn't just because of broadcast cut. I think it was more early. I think it was in like the second or third dragon fight where they had that Ahntye Orianna, the Aurelia into the 4 or 5 man shockwave into the Aurelia, all just clean shop like nuts.
Yeah.
So I think they were down 4K, something like that. So I feel like that's a different side that we're seeing. If it wasn't the season out, I'm at least seeing it in playoffs.
I feel like comparing that TG game is like not fair because TG is literally running it down, but like I have insider information that I can't talk about, but like yeah, man. TG was free my guy Oriri. That's all I gotta say, man.
I think game 1, I think we can agree maybe game 2, game 3, but I think game 1 was full play. I think both teams were in full swing of things. I think they were still trying hard. Yeah. And so like 10 minutes in, I got a message from
like I agree, but then like Shield of Valor's picking Graves top when he's never played it. So yeah. Don't get me wrong, RLS 100% won that series. It's not like TG just straight run it down. Like RLS deserved to win that series. I told Antoon at the very start you're gonna get 3-0'd because RLS's mental is A, just way better, and B, they care more when it comes to playing League and improving. So I honestly hate to say like I think it's not fair to use that game, but fair enough.
Yeah. It's not fair to do that, but fair enough.
Like, man,
No, I get it.
Julian's never played Graves. Like, come on.
I believe in Polster. I believe in Valley. Okay. Any final thoughts on Joushi v Ahntye? I'm not saying anything because they're both gonna make montage videos.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
and I've known Joushi since college, so my first time through college. So I'm rooting for him. I'm really rooting for him. I like to see how far he's come, and I want to
Say Joushi ain't shit. Say it.
What?
Yeah, say Joushi ain't shit.
I don't know how to say that. He's great.
Say it. Say it.
Wait, is it?
You're
Wow.
fired if you don't say it.
No, I can't.
All right, fine.
Joshi is
Wow,
dead.
this
He's
is
a-
ridiculous.
Joshi's pretty good. He has a very good sense of the game, so I'm rooting for him to win it.
Listen,
Gotcha.
I only want them to lose because then I want them to like be frustrated that they got this close and come back next season. So like,
Okay. Yeah, fair.
I want.
Yeah, that's true. That's the biggest thing, right? Like if you win one of these, like there's a big chance you don't come back because you're like, I already won one of these. So, which one do I want to keep?
I don't think we've had it to not come back after winning, except in the mythic
true.
teams because we didn't do mythic this season, but like they always come back.
That's true. Okay, let's go, guys. Let's go. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Now that we talked about all the players, then let's go down the line. Let's do score predictions real fast. So Rex versus RLS. What's the score? Best of 5. We'll start with Brendan first, and we'll go down the line. Then we'll do Ryan. Then we'll do Raafaa. So, what's the score? Who's gonna win? Brendan. Give me thoughts.
Rex is gonna win.
Oh.
I'll bet all my channel points that Rex will win
Okay.
throughout this series, even though I am poor with the channel points. Yeah, I would say probably 3-1 for Rex.
Oh.
I expect them to win. I expect RLS to win a game. It's just I think that no playstyle in any league translates better to a best of 5 series than Rex's playstyle.
Yeah. Okay.
Dang, I was gonna
Ryan.
say.
Oh. No, you can go Raafaa. Go for it.
Okay, I was saying, Ryan, you can go first. You go first, Ryan. I'll go last. I'm spicy.
okay. So they're 1-1 in the regular season so far.
Correct.
They're both looking very good in their last games, both taking 3-0s.
Mhm.
So I think RLS wins. 3-2.
RLS 3-2. Okay. Raafaa.
All right, I was gonna do 3-1, but
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna give it to Rex 3-0.
What?
Whoa!
I think that they're gonna come into this very prepared. I know RLS will too, but I think that Rex is just going to just dominate so hard with their macro. I think they're gonna Raafaa's gonna come back and, like you say, he's gonna have his dominating game. I think he can do it. I believe that this team will 3-0. I want them to 3-0. And I'm ready to eat my words if they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, real quick, Raptor. We can't see because you're cool background now, but can you point to the closest door for me?
Behind me.
Yeah, go that way.
Get
out. I will do my grand finals. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So Brendan, you say 3-1 Rex. Ryan Theracles says 3-2 RLS. Raafaa says 3-0 Rex. I'm the script writer. I say 3-2 RLS. So we'll have to see what happens. Make sure you guys watch. Before we leave, though, before we wrap this whole thing up, I've been sent some questions that I've been instructed to ask you guys. It's 3 questions total. It's 1 question for each of you. And it's essentially like I've received a bunch of questions, just random questions that I've meshed together into one question that I hope will answer the same kind of deal. So, Brendan, I'm gonna ask you first. So you're the Helios TO, which means that you deal with all the players the most out of the 4 people in this room or in this call. You've spoken to all of them. You have probably know them by a first name basis at this point. Could you rank them 1 to 8 on who you would date? Like which team?
Like what team I would date?
Yeah. Which team?
I actually did some information on this. I'm actually yeah. This is actually technically I'm married to 2 teams already.
Okay.
It was not. It wasn't up to me.
Okay.
I didn't really consent, but
An arranged marriage, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that it wasn't like. I think that they said that I'm gonna like it regardless. You know.
Okay.
INT said that to me, and I'm blanking on the other.
PTP.
I think it was PTP. Yes, it was PTP.
Okay.
And I told both teams that, you know, I had a scare being a father recently, and I don't want to experience that again at all. Still terrified of that, you know. So who did I date? All right, let's see here.
Yeah. So just to remind you, we got RLS Rex, INT, TG, we got CFG, PTP, Girl, SDC. I think that's all.
He just is like on the edge of his chair right now. So
Yeah.
All right, so here's what I would say.
Just is slowly leaning forward.
yeah.
Rex will be last because Zenzen's my father, and I want him to adopt me. And you know, I'm not really about that the stepsis kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
All right, and then PTP, all of them are older than me, and you know, that kind of is intimidating because I am obviously the most immature person in all of FoF. So maturity scares me, you know.
Sure.
That's 6. Dang, who would be 5th here? All right, 5th. All right, I'm gonna say TG will be 5th just because I know who Kevin is, and Kevin will never be faithful to me, ever. You know, even though technically we are in a relationship at the moment, I don't think that I think he would just cheat on me immediately. You know, and Julian, by the way, Julian is a you know, very good looking guy, so I know that I could never hold him down. And yeah, so I'll put them 5th. 4th, let's see. I'm gonna go with CFG because I'm sorry to say this, you know, but I just feel like I haven't seen enough personality from them to really make me want to, you know, to date them. I require a lot of personality in my romantic life, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So this is third. This question's going on for really long, isn't it?
No,
It's okay. Wrap it up.
You're giving more analysis on this than you did on the player.
That's the most analysis you've fucking given me. Holy shit.
Dude, this is important to me. What do you mean? This
I
question was
understand.
asked. This question was asked, and they knew. I feel like they knew it was going to get to me. You know.
Yeah.
All right. So INT, I do a 3rd. You know, because INT. Bo has a girlfriend already, and that's really diffed him, you know, and I don't want to get diffed in my relationship, and you know, cheating is never okay, so that's unfortunate. But Fish, you know, Fish is a really funny guy, so I put him up there. Usually it's like whenever I hop into calls and ask them, if they make me laugh, they're usually above this list, so I'm just gonna say they're 3rd because they've been around. Yeah, they're faithful to FoF, so hopefully they'll be faithful to me. All right,
That makes sense.
2nd would be who am I forgetting? Oh, Girl's 2nd, right? And man, it's hard. How do I put them 2nd? I feel like they deserve to be 1st, to be honest.
Yeah, hi.
I'm gonna put them 2nd because number 1, I tried to get my ex-girlfriend recruited to Girl last season, and I don't want that in my life again. And also, they make fun of my Yumi whenever I play ARAM with them. That really hurts my feelings. But
Funny.
I feel like, in particular, you know, Nico has a great personality, and everyone on Girl has great personality. I feel like I can vibe with them. And number 1 would definitely be STC. Come on now. Do I have to explain why, or like what? I feel like Koshi could just. I feel like he could really hold me when it's a cold night, you know, and. And Truax especially has a very velvety voice, you know. I think that he could he can, like, when we're falling asleep together, he can whisper in my ear about some League of Legends highlights or something like that.
Gohan is a great cuddler.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. See, that's important to me.
Like the bad boy, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and Gohan's a bit of a bad boy, you know. Yeah.
Oh, right. He's a bad boy, you know. For me, that's definitely important, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. All right, yeah, let's go to the next question. Okay, Raptera, this next one's for you. A lot of people ask me this, or a lot of people tell me to ask one of you guys this. So I've directed this to you, Raptera, since you're the Luna TO. So you probably watch the most Luna, and you probably work with mostly the Luna players, right? So we've got this whole Super Finals thing coming up in a couple weeks. You know, just based off of what you've seen so far, who's better,
Luna.
Helios or Luna? Okay, explain.
Luna by far.
Show me your work.
So
explain, sir.
just looking at how they play and their macro, I think Luna is better. I think their teams take it more seriously, the league. Like I even had like the bottom teams like just constantly trying to like listen to them talk about their strategy and everything and like the work that goes into it. Like I was always very impressed, but also it's just felt like the teams, like the top teams especially, are very, very good. I mean, UB is UB. They've dominated since they've been here in season 3. HBK, coming down from Mythic, has looked phenomenal. They actually have right now 3 of their players are in the top 5 for KDAs right now. They take 2, 3, and 4. And Jeff God is the only one above them. And Jeff God's been out for a couple weeks, so there's a reason for that. KDA can't go down, but yeah, I don't know. It just feels like I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's felt like the league has been stronger. And that's just not me being biased because I'm running Luna. It's just felt as a stronger league. And I've actually had several teams and players like from both sides now at this point telling me that too. Like, yeah, Luna looks a lot stronger than Helios does.
Okay. That's fair. Okay. I accept that. It's not
everyone have a good rest of your night.
Yeah. All right. Theracles. I just want to ask. So you were you were a player in Luna on team skill based. Yeah.
Was he a player or was he stepping stone?
Yeah, you were a player. Your team ended, I believe I'm checking here, 1-13.
That is it's accurate.
Yeah. Which is fine, right?
Can you ask this question? Is this where
No. However, I genuinely think your squad had some incredibly powerful players. So, out of the 8 teams in Helios, who do you think you guys could beat? SKL, I mean.
Oh,
it's a good game, man.
Okay.
Proceed.
I feel like going off the rankings, they don't justify where the teams are at right now anymore, but
sure.
I definitely feel like we could take Gorilla Muffins.
Okay.
I feel like TG probably.
Oh.
I feel like TG went down a lot. I think it's the only 2 I would confidently say. I feel like I don't think we beat Rex. I feel like we would do a good fight against STC and INT. I don't think we lose. I mean, I don't think we win to RLS or
Yeah.
But and I don't know where CFG is. Honestly, I didn't see enough games, but they look pretty good. So it's I feel like RLS didn't play that great against them, but I also don't feel like CFG played bad either. So that's a big question mark in my head.
I think they're pretty good. I lost to them. So.
I think we beat BTP. I think that too, actually. So I think we beat 3 of them, at least.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, everyone, for the very honest answers. I really appreciate it. Very honest and not biased completely. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining me on today's lounge. Thank you, viewers, for listening throughout this entire video. Make sure you guys watch us. We're coming into grand finals. Yay! It's Helios grand finals. Rex, RLS. Videos. I gotta get back to work. So thank you guys so much for watching Lounge and Game 5 RLS. Joushi ain't shit. Goodbye.
Let's go.